The Amazing Spider-Man issue 40 pits Spider-Man against Chance, who immediately is set upon by Jameson, who is angered the villain interrupted his podcast. Chance doesn't care, pointing his weapons at the podcasters and firing on them, but Spider-Man hits the weapon, causing the energy shot to barely miss Jonah. At the palace, Foreigner watches Chance battle Spider-Man, loving the show but wonders what Chance's peers would think of the operation he's running at the palace. But Foreigner wouldn't want them to find out, not when such an opportunity is there for him. Spider-Man meanwhile continues to battle Chance, who says the best way to get to Spider-Man is to go after someone he loves. Peter is confused since the villain came for Jonah, so Chance wonders if instead of love, it's more of a begrudging respect for the man. Peter thinks that he should research a bit better as he punches the villain, who quickly shoots him, knocking him into a wall. Jonah begins to interview Spider-Man during the fight, asking how he approaches the villain battle and what is his state of mind during the battle. Peter can't believe what he's doing, telling Jonah that if he really wants to know what his state of mind is at the moment, he is annoyed. As he charges Chance, he hears a timer count that 2 minutes remain, getting Chance to quietly tell Peter to hit him. The hero is confused but gladly gives Chance what he wants, smashing Chance in the face and knocking him back. Chance acts like he's defeated, saying that he was bested by his sworn enemy. Suddenly, Peter's spider sense triggers as a group of jack-o'-lanterns arrive, telling Chance that Foreigner has sent them to lend a hand. Peter attacks the pumpkin-headed villains, surprised at how many of them are, knowing it's more jack-o'-lanterns than there actually used to be. Soon, one of the villains slashes one of the web shooters off his wrist, giving it to Chance. The villains escape and Spider-Man knows that he can't let them go, but Jonah tells him that he knows the hero is about to ditch him to punch someone, and Peter says that he needs to stop them from hurting innocents. Peter then begins to think of the battle, realizing that the villains didn't seem to have a problem with them, but more so each other, and at worst it seemed like a villain's scavenger hunt of sorts, so he decides to go back inside and finish the podcast. Over the course of the podcast, Jonah and Spider-Man bicker, laugh, and cry, and begin to see each other in a new light, only then to start bickering again. Later, Peter takes his leave, learning people started listening to the podcast, making it a huge hit and putting the podcast on the top of the charts. He wonders if Jonah actually did help him with his public popularity, and maybe everyone just got a win here. Chance meanwhile is taken back to the palace, proclaimed the winner of the game, meaning he will now cover everyone's debts. Chance knows that this will ruin him, but Foreigner calls that nonsense, since there's no problem with gaining capital, and luckily he knows where he can get more, since he's going to be partnering with the villain. Peter meanwhile returns home to find a scared Randy sitting on his couch, saying the most terrifying woman he has ever met is in Peter's room. Peter thinks that he is talking about Beetle, but going inside the room, Peter finds Nora waiting for him, having found one of his costumes. Peter demands to know why she's there besides snooping like a creep. She knows that he listened to the podcast and knows that Spider-Man is pretty angry about the whole thing. Nora plays coy about Peter's connection to Spider-Man, saying the hero is Peter's trusted confidant and that's why she is there. Peter thinks that she wants him to get Spider-Man a message, but Nora is there to actually offer Peter a job, since she knows that it's been too long since he had one and this could mean a lot of money for him and Spider-Man. Peter tries to remind her that the hero doesn't do what he does for money, but she knows that Peter needs it. He thinks that she wants pictures of Spider-Man, but Nora knows that they can just be Googled nowadays. What she wants, however, is a PR problem for the hero and wants to give him the chance to fix it. She wants Spider-Man to tell his own story and do it on a podcast to answer all the questions, and he will be doing the podcast with Peter Parker hosting. She leaves Peter to look over the proposal, and he knows working for Nora and Jameson is bad enough, but the least he could do is just check it out. Back at the palace, a new player arrives, winning game after game, and the others are impressed with his skill. It's revealed to be Jamie, who wants the others to call him the clairvoyant, as he pockets his future-telling tech. As Nora gets into her car, she is called by her contact, who wants to know how the meeting with Peter went. Nora says that he didn't accept it yet, annoying the contact, who says that time is not a luxury for her since he's bankrolling TNM, and their deal is predicated on Spider-Man's involvement. Nora reassures them that they will get what they want, and they won't need to resort to violence. The being tells her to watch herself, as he is being being generous, but his support is not without strings. Nora understands as her contact the Chameleon finishes his call from his prison cell. The Amazing Spider-Man issue 40 shifted focus from the Jameson Spidey action to the villains of this arc, which gave the arc some much needed physical action. I really liked the Foreigner Chance stuff, and the Foreigner acting out against fellow villains to obviously help Silver Sable, the Infinity Formula and stuff like that, but it kind of clashes with the Foreigner we saw and heard of in the recent Captain America arcs, where there he's just basically a stone cold killer. I enjoyed also Peter having to deal with possibly having to interview himself, thanks to the offer that Nora gives him at the end of the issue, so I'm looking forward to Nick Spencer having fun with that and playing around with the humorous situations that could create, as well as getting more in depth in this soberingly realistic depiction of online clickbaiting social media journalists everyone seemingly is now. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.